YNR spoilers reveal that Traci Abbott is entering a new chapter in her life, one filled with upheaval and difficult choices. While Traci has always been a tough and determined person, recent events have seen her face an unexpected problem. Her love affair with Alan Laurent, a relationship that was anything but simple, has left her in a difficult position. This story is not only about dealing with betrayal, but also about love, forgiveness, and the emotional turmoil that Traci will have to deal with in the future. After all that has happened, Traci is struggling with mixed emotions. She has fallen in love with Alan Laurent, or at least what she thinks is Alan. In Traci's eyes, Alan is the one who gives her the sense of safety, love, and sanity that she has been searching for all this time. But when the truth about the man she loved, Alan is really Martin, a fake, is revealed, Traci is thrown into a crisis. Martin, a charming man who is good at impersonating Alan, has done everything to make Traci believe that he is the man she loved. He not only deceived her about his identity, but also made Traci feel the love and protection she thought she had found. This makes Traci feel betrayed not only by the man she loved but also by herself, for not realizing that she loved someone who was not Alan. However, there is no denying that Traci also has moments of sweet resolution, moments when Martin has made her feel the love and care she craves. Rest assured, Traci can no longer deny that her heart still feels strong for Martin, despite everything. She began to wonder if she could forgive him, and if she could continue to love a man who she knew had been lying to her for so long. Despite knowing that Martin was the one who had lied to her, Traci could not simply let things go without an internal fight. Her mind could see that Martin had taken advantage of her weakness, but her heart could not easily accept it. It was a battle between her mind and her heart, between forgiveness and revenge. Traci felt proud of herself for not seeing through Martin's lies, but she also knew that he was a very good person at creating illusions and pleasing others. No matter how good Traci's reasons were, she had to face a cruel reality: she loved someone who was not Alan Laurent but a fake, someone who had made her believe that she had a perfect love life. Traci will have to find a way to face this truth, no matter how painful it is. However, a part of her still cannot forget the sweet moments she shared with Martin, the moments when he made her feel true love. This leads her to make a difficult decision: should she save Martin from prison, despite how much pain he has caused her and her family? This question will be a big challenge for Traci, because she is faced with a difficult choice between her mind and her heart. A surprising situation may occur when Traci decides to find a way to steady Martin from prison, even though she knows that he is not the Alan she loved. This not only reflects Traci's weak heart but also shows that she can truly forgive Martin, despite the mistakes he has made. Traci will have to face herself and ask if she can forgive a man who has lied to her for so many years, or if she will let revenge take its toll. She will not only face her reflections but also her own intense emotions and changes in her heart. Forgiving Martin will be an extremely difficult act for Traci, because she will have to face the memories of a love that is now a lie. However, if Traci chooses to forgive, it will be an act of self-resolve, a sense of acceptance of mistakes and a search for a happy ending even when things are not perfect. While Traci is struggling with her own internal struggles and difficult decisions about Martin, Diane is also facing her own secrets. Although Diane has tried to change and reform herself, she cannot let go of the secrets she has kept, secrets that could cause chaos in her life and the lives of those around her. Diane has always been caught up in complicated relationships and unresolved problems, and now she is faced with truths that could blow away the facade she has built. Jack Abbott, Diane's lover, may be the only one who can solve these problems, but how will he do it? Will he confront Diane directly, or will he try to work things out quietly? Diane will have to face difficult decisions, and she will not be able to avoid the consequences of her unrevealed secrets. Certainly, Traci Abbott will have to go through a difficult journey in her life. She will have to find a way to deal with deception, forgiveness, and the complicated emotions she is facing. She will also have to face secrets and painful truths, not only from Martin but also from Diane, who Traci may have to help in the future. Traci's life is not only a love story but also an internal battle, a journey to find forgiveness, and ultimately a happy ending, although it may not always be perfect. During the conversation with Nick, Victoria could not hold back her worries. She argued with Nick about why he should not get close to Sharon anymore. Victoria did not want to see Nick get caught up in a troubled relationship, once again facing the pain that Sharon brought. She thought that Sharon was not only unreliable, but could also hurt Nick again, even though she did not want that. However, there was one thing that Victoria could not control, and that was Nick's heart. While his mind could agree with Victoria's advice, his heart could not easily reject Sharon. Nick confessed that he still had feelings for Sharon, and that made the conversation between him and Victoria more tense than ever. Nick loves Sharon in a very special way, and even though he knows that this relationship will not be easy, he still cannot resist the attraction that Sharon brings. He cannot deny that Sharon always makes him feel loved and needed. So even though Victoria may argue that Sharon will only bring trouble, Nick sees the good in Sharon that others may not see. The conversation between Victoria and Nick is not only about Sharon, but also about the differences in how each approaches love and life. Victoria is always the rational one, always thinking carefully and wanting to protect her family from risks. She always looks at every situation through the lens of practicality and protection. Meanwhile, Nick is the one who is easily swept away by emotions and what his heart tells him. Is Sharon really worthy of Nick? The biggest question facing both Nick and Victoria is whether Sharon is truly worth Nick. Can Sharon, with all that has happened in her past, provide Nick with a happy and stable life? Or will she cause him another emotional storm? While Sharon may not mean to cause trouble, her feelings for Nick and her past choices make things more complicated than ever. Will Nick ever see this through, or will he continue down the tumultuous path of love with Sharon? The situation between Nick, Victoria, and Sharon is a testament to the complexity of love and relationships on the young and the restless. Each character has their own worries, anxieties, and undeniable emotions. The conversation between Nick and Victoria will not only influence Nick's decision to travel with Sharon, but it could also be a major turning point in their relationship. Will Nick listen to his sister's reason or continue to listen to his heart? All of these questions will only be answered as the story continues to unfold in the upcoming episodes. Traci Abbott, a journey of self-discovery and a painful confession. Traci Abbott is a character that viewers of The Young and the Restless have followed for years, and her journey has been nothing short of profound inner turmoil. Recently, Traci's story has been more than just a struggle for truth, but also a painful journey of dealing with feelings of betrayal, hurt, and forgiveness. This story is not only about love and betrayal, but also about how a woman can overcome the shocks of life to find herself again. When Traci first met Alain Laurent, she could not have guessed that the man she fell in love with was not who she imagined. Their relationship started out sweetly, with romantic dates, Alain's devoted care, and even a proposal. Traci, with her gentle and sincere nature, opened her heart to Alain, who gave her the sense of security and love she had been longing for. However, not long after their engagement, doubts began to arise in Traci's heart. Something was wrong, and she couldn't help but feel that everything was too perfect to be true. Alain's gestures, his eyes, and even the smallest details of his past didn't quite match what she knew. Although Alain always said that he had vague memories, Traci couldn't help but feel strange every time she came into contact with him. Traci began to suspect that Alain was not the person she had loved all this time. After many ambiguities and conflicting emotions, she began to suspect that he was actually Martin Laurent, her long-presumed dead twin brother. This was the moment when everything Traci had ever believed in suddenly collapsed. Feelings of deception and betrayal overwhelm her, and Traci doesn't know what to do with these revelations. One of the most shocking moments in the story is when Traci is confronted with the truth about Martin. After listening to the conversation between Sharon and Phyllis, Traci cannot help but realize that the man she loved may be responsible for the atrocities of the past. Not only did he lie to her about his identity, Martin may also have been involved in the kidnapping and mental torture that Sharon and Phyllis endured. This truth not only deeply traumatizes Traci, but also puts her in a situation from which she cannot escape. Traci cannot help but wonder if she is part of Martin's game, if her love for him is the biggest deception of her life. The guilt and betrayal in Traci's heart grows stronger. She wonders if she can forgive Martin, or if she will have to painfully confront the truth to find a way to free herself from the past. Traci and Sharon's conversation about the kidnapping makes Traci realize that things are not as simple as she thought. Sharon, a woman who has been through so much, helps Traci realize truths she did not want to accept. Although Traci did not suspect anything until everything was exposed, she now has to face the inevitable loss and pain. When Martin Laurent finally confesses everything and is arrested by Chance Chancellor, Traci feels a mixture of relief and sadness. She knows that justice has been served, but that does not ease the pain in her heart. Traci now has to deal not only with the loss of love, but also with the guilt of having let her heart be deceived for so long. She wonders if she can continue to live with the memories of a love that was destroyed by deception. Traci will have to find a way to close this story, but how to forget the happy days with Alan, the memories of a love that is now only a pain? How will she face herself and find a way to heal this deep wound? Although things are gradually calming down, Traci cannot ignore the mixed feelings in her heart. After all that has happened, she decides to go to New York with Ashley, not only for a change of scenery but also to find herself. Traci has planned to write a book, but can she accept that this sad love story will become a part of that book? Can she turn the pain into strength to write her own story? New York offers Traci a new space where she can challenge herself and find the truth about her deepest feelings. This is her chance to find freedom, but is she brave enough to face the remaining secrets of her past? Traci's story is not only a story of love, but also of forgiveness. Throughout this journey, Traci must not only forgive Martin, but also forgive herself. Can she find a way to forgive the man who lied to her for so long? Can Traci overcome the hurt and find the true love she deserves? The question of forgiveness is not only about Martin, but also about Traci herself. She must learn to forgive herself for letting herself be lied to for so long, and find a way to move on without letting this pain control her. Traci Abbott's journey is a touching story of love, betrayal, and forgiveness. Even though Traci has been through unimaginable trials and pain, she is still able to stand up, face the truth, and find herself again. Her story is not only a journey to find the truth about love, but also a lesson in the power of human beings to overcome the deepest wounds. Traci will have to face a new life, a new path, but no matter what, she will never give up hope for the future. The journey to self-recovery and unrevealed secrets on The Young and the Restless, Traci Abbott has always been a character that audiences love for her integrity, sincerity, and the strength she shows through every challenge in life. However, Traci's recent story has been filled with deep inner turmoil and difficult decisions. It's not just a story of betrayed love, but also a journey of self-discovery, deception, and the complex emotions she must face to find herself. When Traci announced to Jack and Diane that she was leaving Genoa City for a while, her decision not only shocked her loved ones but also marked a major milestone in her life. Traci has endured so much hurt and inner conflict since she discovered the truth about Martin and Alan. She decides to go to New York with her sister Ashley, not only for a change of scenery, but also to find peace of mind. Her life has been troubled by secrets, painful confessions, and mixed feelings about love. Traci hopes that this trip will be a chance for her to close everything, heal her inner wounds, and regain her lost freedom. However, no one can predict what will happen on this trip. Can Traci truly forget the past, or will she discover new secrets, shocking truths that even she herself never thought of? As Traci prepares for her trip, she has no idea that this journey will lead her to an unexpected revelation. All this time, Traci believes that she is in love with Alan Laurent, the man she thinks is Martin's twin brother. Traci and Alan's relationship begins sweetly and romantically. They get engaged and Traci feels like she has found her true soulmate. However, the truth about Martin, the man who pretended to be Alan, makes Traci start to doubt everything she has believed. When Traci is confronted with the truth that the man she loves is actually Martin, she feels like everything is falling apart. Not only is the feeling of being deceived painful, but it also makes her struggle with her own emotions. Traci cannot deny that her feelings for Martin are real, even though she mistook him for Alan. This relationship is not only a lie about identity but also a psychological game that she could not have foreseen. What is even more painful is that Traci realizes that all this time, she has loved Martin, even though he has been living under a lie and false memories. Traci is not only grieving the loss of a relationship, but also because she could not know that Martin was Alan. She fell in love with someone who was not who she thought he was, and it broke her heart. She began to wonder if she could continue to love a man who had so cruelly deceived her, or if she would have to move on without that love. Part of Traci's journey is coming to terms with Martin, the man she fell in love with but who was not who she thought he was. Traci must not only deal with betrayal, but also with the fact that Martin is a man with a troubled and guilty past. However, can Traci see Martin in a different light? Can he change and become a better person if he receives the right treatment? Martin, despite his deranged past and misdeeds, still has the potential to change. Traci feels a part of her still hopes for that possibility. With the right treatment and support, Martin can become a different man, one worthy of love. However, this is not easy, and Traci will have to face a difficult decision. Can she forgive Martin and start a relationship with him again, or will she choose to leave him forever? Traci is grieving not only the loss of a relationship, but also the fact that she cannot know Martin is Alan. For a long time, she has lived under the illusion that she loved Alan, and now that the truth is revealed, Traci faces a double pain. Not only has she lost the man she loved, but she must also face the fact that she has fallen in love with a man who is not who she thought he was. When Paris fell and Traci and Alan were just getting to know each other, Traci did not love him. She only began to feel that love when she was with Martin, when she truly began to love him under the guise of Alan. Traci knows that her feelings are twisted and warped, but she cannot deny that her love for Martin is real, even if it is an illusion built on lies. Traci will have to grapple with this truth throughout her journey and face the inevitable emotions. The trip to New York is not only a change of scenery for Traci, but also an opportunity for her to find herself again. She is not only looking for peace of mind but also for answers to unanswered questions. Can Traci find forgiveness for herself and Martin, or will she continue to live with this sadness and hurt? What will she have to do to close the past and find a new path for herself? Traci hopes that this trip will help her find answers, but will it really help her heal, or will it only make things more complicated? Every step of Traci's journey will be a challenge, but also an opportunity for her to rediscover herself and find the freedom she has lost. Traci Abbott is at a crossroads in her life, facing difficult decisions and mixed emotions. Her relationship with Martin, although it began in deception, brings out the real emotions that she cannot deny. However, Traci will have to face the truth that she has fallen in love with someone who is not who she thought she was, and her journey will not be easy. Will she be able to find herself on this journey, or will she continue to live with the wounds of the past? Traci's story is a reminder that in life, forgiveness and self-discovery are important elements in being able to overcome pain and move forward.